Hey Stoic friends, welcome back to the channel. If they don't fear losing you, they never valued you. Let's be real. People don't value what they get too easily. They don't respect what's always available, always saying yes, always showing up no matter how little they give in return. You think being friendly will make them like you, but all it does is make you forgettable. You become the convenience store of their emotional needs. Open 24/7, no mystery, no power, no presence. That ends today. Because being too nice isn't kindness. It's self-abandonment dressed up as loyalty. And when you keep giving away your energy for free, don't be surprised when they treat it like it's worthless. They won't appreciate your constant availability. They'll take it as weakness. They'll mistake your kindness for lack of options. That's not on them. That's on the standard you set. But the good news? Standards can change. Respect starts the moment you realize your energy is not for discount. Your presence is not disposable. Your love is not a clearance item. Today, we're going to rewrite that script. You'll learn how to stop being too friendly and start becoming someone who's respected, remembered, and regretted when gone. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to forget. This isn't about being cold. It's about being clear. We'll combine the timeless strength of Stoic philosophy with the fire of modern self-empowerment to give you 7 unshakable strategies that build presence, command respect, and eliminate the habits that drain your value. You don't need to be liked by everyone. You need to be respected by the right ones. So if you're tired of feeling used, overlooked, or undervalued, you're in the right place. We're not here to play small. We're here to take back control. Stay with us till the end, and you will learn a lot about this topic. Let's begin. 1. Be scarce with your energy. It's sacred. The more available you are, the less they see you. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you believe being everywhere for everyone is noble, it's time to shift your mindset. Being constantly available doesn't make you valuable. It makes you common, ordinary, replaceable. When you say yes to every call, reply to every message immediately, and show up whenever someone wants you, you teach them that your presence is free and expected. Scarcity builds curiosity. Distance creates desire. When you step back and guard your time like a precious resource, people suddenly notice what they were ignoring. Pull back, not out of spite or punishment, but out of fierce self-respect. You owe it to yourself to protect your energy from being drained by endless demands and unbalanced give and take. Let them miss you. Let them wonder where you are and why you're silent. Let them sit in the emptiness you used to fill without question. That discomfort will awaken their appreciation, because when your time becomes rare, your presence becomes powerful. Remember, your energy is sacred, not a commodity to be handed out like freebies. This isn't about manipulation. It's about honoring your worth and teaching others how to value you. When you respect yourself enough to create boundaries, you create space for the right people to show up. Those who truly deserve your time will step forward. Those who don't, they will fade into the background. This is the law of natural selection in human relationships. Scarcity filters out the unworthy and sharpens your circle of respect and genuine connection. It's also about protecting your mental and emotional health. Constant availability leads to exhaustion, resentment, and loss of identity. You are not a convenience store that stays open 24/7 for everyone's needs. You are a force of nature that commands attention through the rarity of your presence. Every moment you choose yourself, you plant a seed of self-worth that grows into unshakable confidence. So start small if you must. Delay replies. Say no when you need to. Unplug from social noise regularly. These acts of scarcity aren't rejection. They are declarations of self-love. Scarcity is not selfishness. It is survival. When you become scarce with your energy, people no longer take you for granted. They chase your attention. They value your time. They respect your boundaries. You shift from being the background noise to the headline act. This shift transforms your relationships, your opportunities, and most importantly, your internal power. The message is clear. Your energy is not a given. It's earned. Protect it fiercely, wield it wisely, and watch how your presence becomes magnetic, unforgettable, and deeply respected. 2. Stop proving your worth. Know it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your worth. Epictetus said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." This isn't just a quote, it's a life mandate. You've spent too much time justifying yourself, over-explaining your choices, and trying to prove you belong in spaces where your presence is already deserved. Stop that now. Real power is quiet. It doesn't scream for attention or plead for approval. It moves with calm certainty that doesn't require validation from others. When you constantly seek permission, you give away your power. The moment you realize your value isn't up for debate, you begin to live differently. You stop chasing approval and start standing firm in your truth. You stop answering every call, message, or demand because you know your time and energy are precious. You stop bending over backwards to please those who don't respect your boundaries. When you embody your value fully, the world shifts around you. The right people gravitate toward you, and those who can't see your worth, let them go. Let them regret losing the chance to be in your life. Because what you don't beg for, you'll never owe a debt to. This isn't arrogance. It's sovereignty. It's a radical act of self-love to stop explaining yourself to anyone who doesn't already cherish you. When you know your worth, you don't negotiate it, barter it, or compromise it. You wear it like armor. You carry it with dignity. This knowledge creates an unshakable foundation that no external opinion can topple. The world will test you. People will try to diminish you, ignore you, or dismiss you. But when your confidence comes from within, their attempts will bounce off. You won't crumble under rejection because rejection doesn't define you anymore. Knowing your worth means you set your own terms. You decide who deserves your time, your attention, and your love. You understand that being liked by everyone is impossible, and more importantly, unnecessary. You're not here to be everyone's cup of tea. You're here to be the person you are meant to be, unapologetically and fully. So, stop proving your worth. Stop over-explaining your boundaries. Stop fighting for spaces where you belong by default. Your presence is enough. Your voice matters. Your energy is valuable. When you live from this place of self-assurance, you attract respect naturally. People respond to authenticity and confidence like a magnet. They honor those who honor themselves. The difference is clear. The ones who beg for validation are overlooked. The ones who know their worth are unforgettable. Today, commit to knowing your worth so deeply that you no longer need to prove it. Build that inner fortress. Let it shield you from doubt and people-pleasing. Walk forward with calm certainty that you are enough, just as you are. Because when you stop proving your worth, you stop losing your power. 3. Set boundaries. Like your life depends on it, because it does. Being too friendly often means being boundaryless. When you let people walk in and out of your life like it's a public park, you send a message that your time, energy, and peace are unlimited resources, when in truth, they are precious and finite. Seneca said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." That wisdom applies not only to the company you keep, but also to the boundaries you set around your life. Protect your time like it's gold, because it is. Every moment you give away without intention chips away at your strength and clarity. You need to create rules for access, guidelines that dictate who and what you allow into your space, mind, and emotions. Saying no is not an act of rudeness. It's an act of self-responsibility. When you learn to say no without apology, you reclaim power. You stop being a doormat and become the gatekeeper of your well-being. Boundaries are the silent warriors of self-respect, quietly defending your peace against the chaos of others' demands. When you draw a line, you don't push people away. You reveal who truly respects you. The wrong ones will test your limits, try to cross your lines, or disappear altogether. That's not loss. That's clarity. The right ones? They'll step up, respect your boundaries, and meet you where you stand. Either way, you win. Because boundaries are filters. They separate what nourishes you from what drains you. When you protect your energy with firm limits, you create space for growth, creativity, and joy. You refuse to be pulled into other people's drama, guilt trips, or unrealistic expectations. Boundaries teach people how to treat you. If you tolerate being overrun, you teach disrespect. If you defend your limits, you teach reverence. This is the essence of self-worth in action. Without boundaries, your friendliness becomes vulnerability without safety, generosity without return. You end up exhausted, resentful, and invisible. But when you enforce your limits with kindness and conviction, you become unshakable. Your yes becomes more powerful because it's earned, not automatic. Your no becomes a shield, not a barrier. Setting boundaries is not about building walls. It's about building bridges to healthier relationships, deeper respect, and clearer communication. It's about honoring your time as a non-renewable resource and treating yourself like the priority you truly are. When you commit to this practice, your life transforms. You find that you have more energy, more peace, and more meaningful connections. You become the person who others respect not because you demand it, but because you embody it. So today, take stock of your boundaries. Are they clear? Are they respected? Are you saying yes out of obligation or genuine desire? Remember, you owe no one an explanation for protecting your peace. Your life depends on these boundaries, because without them, you risk losing yourself in the demands and expectations of others. Protect yourself fiercely, set your boundaries boldly, and watch as your life aligns with your true worth. 4. Lead with emotional control, not people-pleasing. You don't need to fix how everyone feels. That's not compassion. It's control in disguise. Too often, being too friendly is just a mask for people-pleasing, a desperate attempt to manage others' emotions at the expense of your own peace. But real strength isn't in molding yourself to fit others' moods or demands. The Stoics taught us about the dichotomy of control. You cannot control other people's thoughts, moods, or reactions. You can only control your own. When someone acts cold, distant, or indifferent, your instinct might be to overcompensate with warmth, to chase approval, to fix the discomfort. But that's exactly the trap that drains your energy and erodes your self-worth. Instead, lean into discomfort. Sit with it. Own your reaction. Pause. Breathe deeply. Respond only when your words and actions come from a place of calm, not panic or desperation. That's where real power lives, not in pleasing others, but in being fully present with yourself. Emotional control means you no longer let others' emotional weather dictate your mood or your value. You become a steady harbor in a storm, a rock that doesn't crumble under the waves of rejection, criticism, or indifference. You hold space for yourself first before trying to hold space for others. That's not selfish. It's survival. When you lead with emotional control, You're no longer the person who bends over backward to gain approval or avoid conflict. You become someone who commands respect through your calm strength. People notice the difference. They feel the stability. They trust the consistency. And because you aren't scrambling to meet everyone's emotional needs, you reclaim your time, your energy, and your focus. This shift frees you from the exhausting cycle of people-pleasing, where your worth is always on the line and never guaranteed. Instead, you root your worth in your ability to stay grounded, even when the world around you is chaotic. This doesn't mean you stop caring or stop being kind. It means you stop sacrificing your peace to appease others. You set emotional boundaries that protect your well-being while still allowing genuine connection. You understand that it's okay to say no, to step back, to prioritize your mental health. This mindset frees you to show up authentically. No masks, no scripts, just your true self. People don't respect what's too easy, and that includes emotional availability. When you stop being everyone's emotional fixer, you stop being everyone's option. You become the person who is respected, sought after, and valued for your presence and strength, not for how much you accommodate. Remember, your emotions are yours to manage, not theirs to control. Master your emotional domain, and you become unforgettable. You lead not with fear of losing others, but with confidence in your own worth. This is true freedom. This is true power. 5. Respect yourself, louder than they dismiss you. Every time you ignore your needs just to be liked, you abandon yourself. You sacrifice your peace, your time, your boundaries, all for the fleeting approval of others. But what you may not realize is that the world watches closely how you treat yourself and follows your example. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. If you tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or neglect, that becomes your norm. If you accept crumbs when you deserve a feast, you signal that less is enough. You might think that being nice will win people over, but what truly sticks in their minds is who showed up with unshakable self-respect when it mattered most. Walk into every room like you belong, not out of ego or arrogance, but because you have earned your place through hard work, resilience, and integrity. You have faced your storms, learned from your failures, and built character that no one can shake. So why shrink now? Why hide your light to make others comfortable? Rise. Stand taller than your doubts, louder than their dismissals. When you stop accepting crumbs, you force the world to offer more. You send a clear message that you are not a backup plan, not a convenience, not an option. You are a priority. This is not about entitlement. It's about worth. When you respect yourself fiercely, you command respect naturally. People sense it. They may not say it outright, but they feel your energy. They see your confidence and understand they cannot take you for granted. Respecting yourself also means protecting your time and energy fiercely. It means saying no without guilt, walking away from toxic dynamics, and choosing environments that nurture your growth. You don't beg for respect, you embody it. This embodiment becomes magnetic. Doors open, opportunities arise, and people who value you align with your energy. The ones who don't, they fade away, revealing your true circle. Remember, self-respect is the loudest statement you can make. It drowns out the noise of rejection, criticism, and neglect. It is the foundation of a life where you are valued not because you chase it, but because you deserve it. So commit today to respecting yourself louder than anyone can dismiss you. Show up for yourself first, and watch how everything else shifts. Your worth is non-negotiable. Stand firm in that truth and become the unstoppable force you were meant to be. 6. Be unavailable to the uninvested. Stop giving your best to people who barely show up. Friendship, love, loyalty. These are not handed out like party favors. They are earned, nurtured, and reciprocated. Seneca wisely said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This means true wealth comes from contentment and wise investment of your energy, not from desperate chasing after those who don't value you. If they don't call you back, stop texting. If they don't put in effort, stop initiating. If they make you feel optional, start removing yourself entirely from their orbit. This isn't about playing games or punishing others. It's about protecting yourself from emotional depletion. When you allow people to treat you like a constant, unearned resource, you teach them that your presence is endless and unquestioned. But you are not an emotional vending machine, dispensing attention and care on demand without return. You are a high-value presence, a person of worth who deserves reciprocity and respect. When you treat yourself as such, you naturally raise your standards and attract those who match your energy. This shift requires courage, the courage to say no to old patterns, the courage to be absent where you were once too available, and the courage to embrace solitude over superficial connection. You may fear loneliness or rejection, but what's worse is the slow erosion of your self-respect when you settle for less than you deserve. Being unavailable to the uninvested is not coldness, it's wisdom. It's understanding that your time and energy are finite and precious, and not meant to fill every empty space in someone else's life. You create value through your scarcity, by showing up fully only for those who value you in return. This doesn't mean cutting off everyone who ever disappoints you. It means discerning the difference between temporary setbacks and chronic neglect. It means investing where there is mutual growth and respect, and walking away where there is repeated disregard. When you stop being too available, you stop being taken for granted. You reclaim your power and your peace. You create boundaries that protect your emotional well-being and your energy reserves. You send a clear message. You are worth the effort, and you will not settle for anything less. This mindset transforms your relationships, your self-esteem, and your life. It teaches others how to treat you, and it teaches you how to love yourself deeply. So today, take stock of where you've been too available and ask yourself, who truly deserves your time and energy? Who shows up for you as much as you do for them? Let go of those who don't meet you halfway. Be unavailable to the uninvested. Guard your presence fiercely, and watch as your life fills with genuine connection, respect, and love. 7. Build a life so full they notice your absence before your presence. Aristotle said, "Excellence is a habit." This is not about seeking revenge or harboring resentment toward those who have left your life. It's about shifting your focus inward and building a life so rich, so full, that the absence you leave behind speaks louder than any presence ever could. Stop obsessing over who walked away or who failed to appreciate you. Instead, invest deeply in yourself. Cultivate discipline in your habits. Read more books that expand your mind and challenge your thinking. Train harder, not just your body, but your mind and spirit. Laugh deeper, love more fiercely, and live with intentionality that radiates from your core. When you align with your true purpose and passion, you create a glow that is untouchable, something magnetic and undeniable. Your energy becomes expensive, rare, and valuable. When you become expensive, you no longer attract just anyone. You attract only the worthy, those who can match your energy and respect your value. This is the best kind of elevation, the kind that silently demands recognition without uttering a single word of complaint or bitterness. Elevation is your ultimate power play. It's not fueled by anger or spite. It's fueled by growth, self-respect, and relentless focus on your own journey. When you build a life of excellence, your absence becomes the greatest reminder of what was lost. People notice when you're not around, not because you begged for attention, but because you created a space only you can fill. This shift from chasing validation to becoming the validation is the mark of true self-mastery. Every moment you spend building yourself is an investment that pays dividends in respect, confidence, and unshakable self-worth. The version of you that shows up consistently, that prioritizes growth and authenticity, becomes unforgettable. The world remembers that person long after they're gone. So stop wasting energy on those who fail to see your value. Elevate yourself. Build a life that demands respect and admiration through action, not words. Let your absence be the loudest message that you are never just another option. You are the standard. When you live this way, regret doesn't come from you, it comes from them. Let that be your quiet power, your unstoppable force. This is how you become the one they'll regret losing forever. They will regret it, but you won't. They will look back and wonder how they ever lost you. But you won't regret a single moment. Because the second you stopped being too friendly, you began commanding deep respect. The second you pulled back, your value skyrocketed. And the second you stood tall, with unshakable confidence, the weak and the unworthy naturally fell away. That is growth. That is power. That is true presence. This transformation isn't about being cold or distant. It's about reclaiming your worth, setting boundaries, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. It's about knowing that your energy is sacred and that not everyone gets unlimited access to it. If this message stirred something inside you, if you're tired of being overlooked, taken for granted, or undervalued, then now is the time to rise. Hit that subscribe button and join a community of warriors committed to choosing worth over weakness. Here, we build strength, confidence, and emotional mastery together. We don't just survive, we thrive. And in the comments, tell me this. What part of you are you reclaiming today? Is it your voice that's been silenced? Your space that's been invaded? Your value that's been ignored? Speak it out loud. Declare it boldly. Don't settle for being merely available to others. Become unforgettable. Become the standard they can't replace. Your new life, your new power, your new respect. It all begins now. Step into it.